Welcome to the Crystal Collector. Today we're going to be checking out how to clean these crystals. So after you found your crystals, what do you do then? They're all dirty, muddy. Even when you get the mud off, sometimes they've still got these stains on them. So what do? Water won't get it off, a pressure washer? There are ways. Let's check it out. One of the easiest, most safest ways is to use a product called Iron Out. You can get this stuff at Walmart, Lowe's, Home Depot, some of your local hardware stores. It does the job. Its normal use is to clean up things like your toilet, your bathroom counters, things that get rusted up. But luckily for us, this is rusted up too. So we're going to use this to make this all nice and clean. And remember, even though this is a really mild chemical, it is a chemical. So definitely read all your precautions, wear the proper gloves and all the stuff before you work on these chemicals. So I've got this table here full of a bunch of dirty crystals I found over the last couple months. On this side of the table, we've got some clusters of amethyst. Right now, you can't even see the purple. But once we clean all the dirt off and soak it for maybe 24 hours to 48 hours, you'll see a huge difference. So this box is just a bunch of Arkansas stuff that I've had from several locations over the years, and I just never took the time to clean them because they had so much wrap around them. So we're going to clean these up and see what we've got here. And the ones behind it, same location in Arkansas, a place called Sweet Surrender Mine. So we're going to get those cleaned up as well. And then these herkimers, who knows what they'll look like. They just look like big clumps of dirt. You'll see a big difference in these things. Here we have some quartz crystals from Georgia. Now these have already been cleaned off with water, but they haven't been soaked yet. And you can see the minor oxidation that occurred from the red clay. So we're going to try to get that off with Iron Out. So it should work really well. There's several different ways you can clean your crystals at first. You want to get all the dirt and mud off before you soak them in the acid. So first, let's wash these herkimers. They're really dirty, but it's been a couple of weeks since they were dug, so the dirt's nice and dry. So they should come off really easy with just a little bit of water at first. Then we'll soak them. So we're going to be using this pressure washer to get most of these things cleaned. It really works nice to get all in between the crevices of the rocks and crystals to get all the dirt out. So if you're going to use one of these, you might want to put on a pair of these, because as you're cleaning these rocks and crystals, sometimes the dirt might ricochet back into your eyeball. I don't think that's what you want. Let's get her done. Rinsing this herkimer off, sometimes you can just rinse these off and you'll be surprised how much dirt actually comes off. Some of these, if not most all of these, are definitely gonna need a soak. You really want to try and remove as much dirt as possible. The more dirt you can take off of the pieces, the better your solution will work. What? So first, we're going to fill up these containers with water. You always want to do that before you add your Iron Out. So I'm going to give these one final rinse before I drop them in the soak, just to be sure I remove as much dirt as possible. So most of these I have ready to soak. A couple of these I've pulled out. You definitely wouldn't want to soak that awesome color off there. So you take your Iron Out, the powder, and on the back here it calls for 1 cup per gallon. We've got several gallons in here, so you got to watch out though, because the vapors go a little bit nutty. You'll see here what I mean. I'm going to go ahead and put a cup in each one. You'll see already. Luckily I've got a wind blowing kind of that way, so I'm not breathing any of this stuff in. But you really want to be careful. So those vapors have settled, and I'm going to come back and add a little bit more water. Helping to mix the remainder of the powder up. So as I drop these flats in, I'm going to throw these goggles back on just to be sure I don't get any splashback in my eye. And I'm also going to put on these gloves. Alright, let's give that about a day. We'll see what it looks like. So it's been a full 24 hours. Now it's time to check these crystals and see what this stuff has done. As you can see here, crystals look pretty good already. I added a few amethyst I recently found as well, and some older finds. We'll see what those look like. And a large herkimer. I like to use just an ordinary nozzle. That way it's not too powerful. Throwing your crystals around everywhere. What? After I've got them sprayed off, I'll take them out, lay them on the table. At least the bigger ones. So I've got everything laid out on the table here, and it's had the preliminary wash with just the hose pipe. You can see that did pretty well on a lot of this stuff. It might not even need the pressure washer, but I think these may. We'll see. I think some of this black is going to be underneath the crystal. But look at that. Already looking spectacular. Look at this large herkimer. What? That thing is awesome. Here's a cluster from about a month or two ago that we pulled out. This is on the very last video, actually. Crystal collecting in Arkansas. Some Diamond Hill pieces that needed cleaning. Look at that. Look at that. So, we'll see. Look at this. These herkimers are looking great. See if we can pick a few of these up. Get a better perspective here. Look at that. Starting to clean up nicely. Got to high grade these out. Pick out the good ones. And these here probably won't really need the pressure washer, I wouldn't think. Look at that. Arkansas. Nice herkimers all in there. All these will need pressure washing, so we'll get the remainder of the dirt out of there. You can see how nice they're looking though. Look at that. Wow. California amethyst. So I'm going to wash the rest of these with this pressure washer. This really works. Just overnight, usually, and you get these kind of results. Check that out. What? Looking great. Sometimes, though, you'll get pieces like this where the iron oxides don't completely come off. So they'll take another soak. You can see there. Now this is a special piece. You would think that maybe the solution just didn't work. Actually, the color is underneath the surface of this crystal, but it did help to clean up and make it nice and shiny. So there you have it. I got a table full of clean crystals, thanks to the pressure washer, a little bit of iron out, and a little bit elbow grease right there. Get her done. These crystals are really cleaning up nice. And just remember, before you do any of these cleanings, you want to make sure you try maybe some sample pieces of your stuff, because you never know what kind of minerals are going to be in your matrix that might react with this stuff, or you know, might not come out looking as good as you wanted, you know. So maybe try a sample batch. Don't put your best pieces in if you've never used the stuff yet. Be sure to read this label really nice. Check out what, you know, it's trying to tell you to do here to be safe.